AM 950. Become a sustaining member of AM 950 with a recurring monthly payment of $50 or more, or make a one-time membership donation of $250 or more. And not only will you receive the AM 950 calendar and the AM 950 tote bag as a thank you, but you'll also be invited to an exclusive thank you, the meet and greet. For more details or to sign up to become a member, go to am950radio.com. That's am950radio.com.
Ghost Stories and Beyond returns to Billy's Bar and Grill in Anoka January 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Join Char Savoy and myself, Greg Bakken, as we host our special guest, Joe Frankie. Joe paranormal investigated with Ed and Lorraine Warren since 1986. You know the Warrens, where the Conjuring films were based on. It's a night of Joe sharing his stories and experiences. It's $10 a ticket to join in, and we'll see you January 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at Billy's in Anoka. Don't forget, burgers will be half price.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Cloudy tonight with a low of 39, then sunshine Saturday with a high of 50. The holidays are here, and an Eat Local Minnesota restaurant or food purveyor is perfect for any celebration, whether it's friends, family, or a work gathering. See the list of Eat Local Minnesota restaurants and food purveyors at eatlocalminnesota.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken.
And this is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakken. Thank you very much for joining me on this Casual Friday, which is also doubling as the very last episode of Ghostbox Radio for 2023. So just make sure that we're celebrating here, aren't we, Adam? It's a fun time here tonight in the old studio.
Yeah, I mean, you're busting out your performance chops, dramatic pauses. You're,
right.
Keeping the audic filled and waiting with anticipation.
Timing is anyway. So we're here tonight. We got a jam-packed episode of Ghostbox Radio to get through tonight. Such important topics as what is your most memorable Christmas gift, whether it's funny, good, if it's bad, I don't want it to be like traumatic for you to talk about. I just want to, if it's something funny, I think more or less. And we have that as our Facebook question of the week. We'll get to that in the second segment. Feel free to give us a call if you want to share it on the air, 952-946-6205. We're also kind of doing a year in review, I suppose. If there's a guest that you really enjoyed this year, give us a call, put it in the comments. Let us know what you really enjoyed listening to this year. If you had been on the show, if you have not been on the show and want to call in and say hello, put it in the comments, or once again, 952-946-6205. And something I wanted to address, Adam, was that, see, I'm already getting it wrong. Wednesday, I said it was Thursday. And your wife corrected me publicly on the air. But what I look at it as, and I was talking today about it, is that you're the harbinger of Thursday.
I really was.
And so, I mean, it's a easy mistake to make.
Believe me, I go to work that next day, and I'm like, it's a Friday, and everybody's like, no, it's not. It's only Thursday. And I'm like, damn it.
That's a shame.
It really is.
That would be really tough. I mean, I think the funny thing was when I read your wife's comment and I'm like, oh, it's only Wednesday. And you and I both were like, oh, well, no. So a couple things that I have learned, which I'm really excited about because I never really knew or cared, but I'm going to, it still was, it's timely, of course, is that one day I just started to think, 12 days of Christmas. When do they start? It was, I've always like, is it the start of the month? That makes no sense. That's 12 days. It doesn't start like on whatever else. And I know that, I didn't know where it started, but I found out today just listening to the radio. It starts on Christmas Day, which is the first day of Christmas, I guess, and it goes to January 6th. So anyway, yeah. So
I can't sing that song without the Miss Piggy line. I grew up with that version.
And the best part of it, it's such an iconic voice, and it's Frank Oz.
Yeah. Or, it's Miss Piggy, it's Yoda, it's a litany of characters that generations have grown up with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's the best.
Is it the best, or is this the best?
Okay, day 12. Good day, and welcome to day 12. Yeah. Golden Goose, 4 pounds of bacon, 3 French toast, 2 turtleneck, and a beer in a tree. Where did you learn to do that?
That is a good one.
So like,
But what is my wife and I actually had this conversation the other day. When it comes to Christmas carols,
Yeah.
I am very much the Muppets Christmas, 12 Days of Christmas is my number one.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 is Carol of the Bells. And don't give me people singing Carol of the Bells. Give me actual chamber bells playing it.
Sure. No. Okay.
And then the other one that I really dig is David Bowie and Bing Crosby's Little Drummer Boy.
Which they changed. The lyric was changed in that one.
Was it?
Which is now famous, but it was changed in that special. And I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. All I know, and I didn't quite gather this, was when it aired that Bing Crosby had already passed. So it's posthumously aired.
Yeah, that's right.
Just incredible. And now that's, at the time, I think it was looked at as like crazy, just having those two pair up. And now it's just so classic.
Oh, yeah. David Bowie and Bing Crosby, you even as a, youngster, because that happened before I was even aware of things going on. But, just those two voices went so well together that I never thought anything different. Like, it would have been so odd. But then, finding out years later, it's like, it was a big culture shock to have the British rock star and the American singer-songwriter together.
Absolutely. Yeah. No.
But that's what Christmas does. It brings people together. It sends Alan Rickman out of windows. It's a wonderful time.
It does. I was thinking prior to the coming in here, knowing that it's kind of the Christmas special of Ghostbox Radio, I thought, boy, too bad we didn't have like a more Christmassy or more lighthearted opening than my friend Dave Damon telling us, that the Chupacabras don't always agree with what we talk about here. But I was kind of thinking of the Tonight Show sort of, get, just kind of the big band thing going in here. But I don't think we're going to have time to pull that together.
No, probably not. And bring my kazoo or anything like that.
Well, if I knew you played kazoo, you got to tell me you have this talent. It's
not really a talent. It was a quarter out of one of those claw machines. And my kid didn't want it anymore. It's like, here's how to annoy people.
Right. Exactly. Get Johnny Carson in here. Tonight on Ghostbox Radio, we have Jackie Gleason and Jack Hanna and Zach Bagans.
You are correct, sir.
Now, Lynette has it right. When we say, please comment or call in, she does. And I appreciate that. I don't know why it's like pulling teeth sometime to get people to want to say nice things about us, quite frankly. Lynette says, I enjoy all the shows. I can't think of one particular show that I like better than the others yet. So
I've got 2 that really stick out. from this past year.
And the key word for one of them is Disney.
No, not at all. But there is a doll involved.
What is it?
Mr. Sloan, the Robert the Doll.
David L. Sloan.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That was by far one of my favorite ones. There were moments in that where I think we've talked about it on the air. I think that the doll was answering some of those questions for David.
Well, and we, yes. And I remember asking him, is the doll in control of you? Like you, and he said, I don't know.
Yeah. And there were so many times. I mean, you were doing that one from home because it was kind of funny. It was Robert the Doll and you had Annabelle in the background.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the monitor to my right, the majority of the time. And there were times where it's like we had David and then we didn't have David. And then we had David and then we didn't.
It was surreal.
It was one of the most intriguing ones, one of my favorite ones. I cannot wait to have him back on.
And remember, that was the one that we're talking and my shirt moves.
Yes, it was.
And that was where the shirt, for those who haven't watched, I'm at home and it's summer and I'm wearing a button down short sleeve shirt, and the bottom of the shirt that's on my leg, it pulls up. And it's not something that when something isn't right, it does not feel right.
And we talked about that too quickly on the air about that, because you're like, no, the cord's on the other side.
Yeah.
It wasn't the cord from my headset.
I didn't want to freak myself out any further by making a deal out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And all I wanted to do, because in my office where I do the show when I'm at home, I can look out and there's the living room, family room, and then there's the kitchen. And during that, it was a light came on in the kitchen. And I'm just like, I want to get the you-know-what out of here right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my own house. And I still had one other show to record that night.
Yeah, that's right.
I recorded a show from midnight to 1 a.m. to get ready because I wasn't going to be in on Friday.
Yeah, that's right.
Good grief. What was your other one?
The Halloween one. That was special. That was amazing. That was my most favorite experience in the radio industry I have ever had in my entire life. And that ain't even including the REM pod going off here at the station in Eden Prairie and the light turning on once. That's a sidebar bonus.
Yeah.
But that actual broadcast, it was just unbelievable. You guys being in Stillwater at the garage. It was so much fun. I loved it.
It's been gratifying to see so many people, and Brad being one of them. Brad Webb says one of my favorite shows was the live investigation one. And that was just it. I've had so many people tell me about how much they've enjoyed that, which is really nice because I don't think radio's ever seen anything like it, to be perfectly honest.
I couldn't even find an old Coast to Coast that had done anything like that. And I went down wiki holes for a couple of days after that just to be sure. It's like, are we really the first terrestrial radio station to kind of do this?
Yeah.
And I really couldn't find anything in the US that had done anything to that length.
No, it was pretty amazing. And Brad also says that that night was classic. Adam's reaction that night. And here's the thing, folks, watching something from your home and just experiencing it by watching us, that's one thing. Being here, and you being here by yourself.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about spirits. We're not talking to somebody telling us about spirits. We are trying to bring them forward, and we're asking them to coalesce between Stillwater and Eden Prairie, and they're doing so. And you're the only one in here. Your reactions were, they were really interesting to take in, but by no means do I mean that as they were funny, because they were real reactions.
Yeah, legit. When the light came on after, I'm like, okay, cool, the REM pod. Great, it's working. Thanks, Brad. This is where that light came back on. It's just like, oh no.
Have you ever re-listened to it?
I have.
I mean, and then your voice when it happens.
I sounded like, you want fries with that?
Yeah, right. The light just turned on, and once again, I'm not trying to be funny about it,
no,
but it's that's exactly what it was.
It came across like that. The only thing that kind of popped in my mind was when Abe Simpson's working at the McDonald's. He's like, make the secret sauce. You just take the Thousand Island, throw it out in the sun. That's the first thing that came to mind when I heard myself. It's like, oh my God, I'm the Simpsons guy.
Oh my gosh, it was incredible. And part of me doesn't, I mean, I want to do another one, but a part of me doesn't, because that was perfection.
It really was. But we get another location. I would love to do that again.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't just leave it at one.
No, and that's we're breaking the barriers of radio.
But everything needs a sequel, and perhaps the next one will be like a Wrath of Khan or an Empire Strikes Back, where it's far superior than the original.
Or a Highlander 2.
We're gonna go with Wrath of Khan, and we're gonna go with New Hope. All right. I don't remember Highlander 2. Is that the one with Mario Van Peebles?
Well, it goes to show there is two crappy back-to-back Highlander films. And actually, the first one was great. First one's amazing. Nothing's been good after that.
No, especially when you got a Scotsman playing a Spaniard.
What is this garbage that's infiltrating the internet right now? Just know Greg. Yeah.
Well, I do know Greg, but that's what the guy.
Right. Yeah, Brad, did we ever talk about the spells that I do? Anyway, so why don't we do this? Let's go ahead. Let's take our first break. If you have any thoughts on favorite episodes throughout the last year or whatever else, or any guest suggestions, or just want to say hi, put it in the comments, give us a call. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to do question of the week and a lot more. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Hello, I'm Jody, also known as Witch Jody on social media. I opened Midwest Witchery and Healing in historic Stillwater because as a nurse, I love to help others. When you come and visit Midwest Witchery and Healing, you will find everything from divination and magical services, classes to ritual tools, jewelries, handcrafted candles, witchy gear, and much more. My store is a safe environment for all on their own unique path. Look for the purple door. Find out more at MidwestWitcheryHealing.com.
Feeling like people just don't get the vibrant rainbow unicorn that is your celestial essence? Have you been wondering how you stepped into this infernal, mundane timeline full of muggles, NPCs, and toilet paper shortages? Here at Magus Books and Herbs, we get you, and are staffed with real-life unicorns just waiting to help you rediscover your shine. So come explore your magical side with books, herbs, incense classes, and more at 1848 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis, or online at magusbooks.com.
Crooner's Supper Club invites you to enjoy drinks, a delicious dinner, and live music from both big-name local and national artists in a wide array of styles. Before or after your show, check out the new Maggie's Lounge, a perfect spot to visit with friends. It's open Wednesdays through Sundays beginning at 4:30 with cocktails and light fare. And you don't need a ticket to enjoy the great atmosphere of Maggie's. Crooner's Supper Club off Moore Lake and Highway 65. A little piece of old school nightlife in the 21st century.
Ghost Stories and Beyond returns to Billy Bar and Grill in Anoka January 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Join Char Savoy and myself, Greg Bakken, as we host our special guest, Joe Frankie. Joe paranormal investigated with Ed and Lorraine Warren since 1986. You know the Warrens, where the Conjuring films were based on. It's a night of Joe sharing his stories and experiences. It's $10 a ticket to join in, and we'll see you January 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at Billy's in Anoka. Don't forget, burgers will be half price. And welcome back to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. My name is Greg Bakken. As we head into the end of the year, this is our last new show for 2023. Next week, we're going to be rerunning some best ofs and stuff. It's going to be really good. Since we went into the break, we had Brad trying to redeem himself here. He said the only good thing after the first Highlander movie was decent was the TV show. I always love that. Adrian Paul. It's a great show, at least the first 3 seasons, I would say. Cynthia says, when I watch your show, it feels like I'm there investigating with you guys. I'd like to try the necrometer in Iowa and see if we can connect. Absolutely. Would love to do that. Once again, if you have any comments or anything you want to talk about, or talk about a show that really stuck out for you this year, put it in the comments or give us a call at 952-946-6205. That's 952-946-6205, which is where I go right now. And we have John on the line. John, how are you doing?
John didn't stick around. It was a caller who had a question for you from a John Scazzali book. The cover for Starter Villain. Does it look like Linus?
Oh, that's what that meant. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are you familiar with what that is?
I actually pulled it up, the book cover, and yeah, it does kind of look like your cat in a suit.
So Starter Villain.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do this. Let's see. Yep, John Scalzi.
Now the question is Linus a villain?
Oh, I think some people today might think so. He went on a killing spree today with visitors to the house, and but you know, I mean, the problem with him and all other cats is that they're cute on the outside, monstrous on the inside. And, you know, that's really what it comes down to is that they look trustworthy. They look like that they want you to be their friend. And then you pet them a little too long and they decide they want to see what color your blood looks like. And that was kind of not for me. I've kind of learned, not that it doesn't still happen to me, but I've kind of learned. Caller, thank you for that. Too bad you didn't stick around to say hi. My goodness. All right. So, Adam.
Yes.
Question of the week.
Yes.
What has been the most memorable Christmas present you ever received? Memorable being an amazing gift, funny gift, or an unintentionally bad gift? I don't want to hear gifts like, well, you know, I got the remains of my aunt and I never liked her, and then, you know, the remains are horrible. And
sadly, I was about to pop in with part of the monologue from the original Gremlins movie.
We were just talking about that. Yeah.
My father got stuck in the chimney.
So why don't we start with yours? What was yours? You responded earlier.
So when I was like 17, I had an aunt and uncle that they were better off than the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they were always those who gave like the good gifts and things like that. So they show up to the house one year in 97, I believe it was. And I get a blanket. Most of the time, blanket, useful. Not here. Very thin, very small. It was blue and purple with flowers and houses as the print. And I, being a good relative and a good person that I am, used to be,
mm-hmm.
I played it off as, this is fantastic. Thank you. I can definitely use this. Once they leave, I looked at my mom and my Aunt Beth. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm a 17-year-old boy. Why did they give me this? But, you know, as we were talking off air, I kind of have a theory about that. I think they were wrapping gifts, had a little too much wine, and threw the wrong to from labels on some gifts.
That is funny.
But that's one of my memorable ones. I will say some of my best ones have been the last few years from the wife. She's gotten the hint. I enjoy autographed items. So I've gotten autographed baseball bats and, you know, autographed figures and things like that from wrestlers and ball players. So she's gotten some great ones for me over the years.
Good to know that you like gifts that are in the budget range.
Believe me, very much in the budget. I don't like the high priced wrestlers. You know, we're spending like $10 on an autograph.
Are you more like a hacksaw Jim Duggan sort of?
Jake Roberts, you know, kind of your Demolition.
Snake the Jake. It's Jake the Snake Roberts, yeah.
Yeah, like the most expensive one I have is Ric Flair, but I paid for that myself.
Yeah, no.
And that's a robe.
Oh.
I bought a Ric Flair robe.
Well, you know what? that works.
Yeah,
that works. Yeah, I mean, over the years, like my family, because I kind of disappeared from them for a while in when I was in my concentration camp, also known as marriage, and it wasn't a great time. It's darker in here again.
It is.
What is going on over here?
Know, but it is darker in there.
Oh my God.
And it's not the lights, because
No,
I can see when you flicker, and I can see, and unfortunately the camera doesn't project the way it should what's going on in there, because there's a light on the camera.
it's getting lighter now.
Yeah, but
Oh,
no,
for God's sake.
it does. This is going to be the next live investigation. Is this place?
It will be. You're absolutely right. It will be. But after, maybe because I was talking about, my parents, I was talking about them and the fact that they kind of lost track of anything I was interested in. I don't want gifts. I'm not a person that really wants gifts.
Yeah.
I'll just go out and get my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of them asking me what I'm interested in, which I would have actually said, please don't give me anything. They remembered I liked Star Wars when I was 5 years old, and everything I got for about 10 years was Star Wars related, down to like Darth Vader sprinklers for the lawn.
That's
Darth
cool, actually.
Do you want it?
My wife will.
I still have it. I have one of those Darth Vader voice changer helmets. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? But it's the thought that counts.
Yeah, it's like I buy my wife Princess Leia stuff all the time.
She a big Star Wars fan then?
Star Wars, and she's a big Carrie Fisher fan as well. So I get her a lot of Carrie Fisher stuff. But yeah, nice. Star Wars is her thing. So.
Sure. No, that's very cool. Going on to some of the stuff that people had responded to. And once again, feel free to call in and share with us at 952-946-6205. If you do call in, please stay on the line so I could say hello to you. I'm not that frightening. And then also, Adam's like, well, and then also put it into the comments. Lucy said that this year, my kids here in Georgia have given me the 25 days of Christmas box. Each day so far has been filled with awesome crystals and incense.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be.
I've never heard of that.
Neither had I. I would like to know where the website to pick that up for next year. That would be pretty sweet.
I'll ask her. I know her.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, she lives up in to us. It's up over in Deadwood.
Oh, okay.
Well, she's not in Deadwood. She's actually in the town right over, right next to it. But
which Dakota is that?
That's south.
South. Okay.
Yeah. Moni says, and I wish I would have had like the Billy Idol open. Anyway, she says a jewelry box, handmade. It was the only gift that year. I was 10.
That's beautiful.
It is. I guess my question, I'm sure she totally accepted it for what it was. It's kind of when you're at that age, it's sometimes like you don't see the real value and the beauty in something sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'm sure she did. Danae had written, or she had sent because when I posted this, I had the leg lamp from A Christmas Story, Fragile.
Oh yeah.
And she posted a picture of the lamp, and I'm like, are you saying you got one of those lamps as a Christmas gift? And she's like, nah, I gifted it to my hubby. And then I had someone else afterwards post a picture of it. My mom gave it to me one year for Christmas. She almost paid the extra $100 for it to be delivered in a wood box. Wouldn't that it'd been like the whole
that would have
the
been
whole thing. Yeah, that would have been really funny. Let's see here. John, my friend John, he posted a picture of the lamp again, but it's a little different. He says some people choose to celebrate in different ways, and it's the lamp, but instead of the woman's leg, it's C-3PO's leg, and the shade is actually R2-D2's head.
Nice.
So
that is cool.
My friend James, he says, I'll always remember coming down the stairs to find an actual pinball machine next to the tree. Or there was the year we got the full-size electric football game featuring the Vikings and Raiders from Super Bowl 11.
Wow, somebody came from money. No, I'm kidding. But the pinball machine, that would have been so much fun. That would have been so cool.
Yeah, I do have a pinball machine, actually. Nice. I didn't get it for Christmas, but I got a Doctor Who pinball machine.
Very cool.
Like everything else in the house, it's hidden by garbage. Let's see here. Brian says, my late dad got me a huge Eeyore one year. I loved it and keep it on display. And he sent a picture of it. I mean, those are the things too, like that. I ran across a Christmas gift for my mom, and a couple of years ago actually, and it was a check for $50. And I just keep it, it's just her writing. You know what, you really get attached to those things that you never really gave, two craps about.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, who cares about someone's handwriting? But then it's like, that's handwritten by her.
Yeah. I've got a letter shoved away in a book that my mom had wrote a few years before she passed. Just got it folded up. Every now and again, I'll go out in the man cave, pull it out and read it. And, I've still got a coffee mug that my mother bought me when I first moved up here and got my first radio gig out of college.
Yeah.
I've still got that coffee mug. I use it pretty much every weekend morning for my coffees.
That's sweet. Yeah. Yeah. I actually have, kind of going off topic here. I have one of my mom's jackets that she'd wear in the house when she was cold and stuff.
Yeah.
And when they were clearing out the house, I saw it. I'm just like, I just want it, and then when my ex-wife came in and moved out a lot of stuff, I thought I couldn't find it at first. And I thought, well, did you accidentally take it? And no, she didn't. It just was moved in the closet because no, I want that. It's those things that just, yeah. It's not creepy. I don't like go around wearing it or anything. It's just that
you're not Ed Gein.
No, I'm not Ed Gein. I'm not, I'm weird, just not creepy. And
or from Wisconsin
or, I'm being very careful. Christina says my grandma crocheted. Is it but in the past sense?
Crocheted.
Is it crocheted?
Yeah.
Because that's not how it's spelled. That's I can't speak.
She's from Indiana, like I am. I know her, so.
Presents 1 year. Mine was a patchwork granny squares made into a cardigan, but it was doubled up and had filling in between on back and front side. So it was super heavy, like an armored jacket. I smiled and said, thank you, wore it for pictures, but never wore it afterwards. I hid it in a bag in the garage, trying to trick my mom into thinking I lost it and couldn't find it. And that bag went to Goodwill or some other. Now I think I would have just kept it, even though I didn't want to wear it. That's funny. That's really funny. It also reminds me of like when my sister moved out of our house, and she moved in with her boyfriend, which eventually became her husband. And that was, that was scandalous in the Bakken household because, that for a Catholic family, you didn't do that. A Catholic family ran by my mom, you didn't do it. But my sister is just like, that's my life. I'm gonna do what I want. And they brought in like a little trailer to pack stuff in, and my dad and I were in the garage, and my dad's just like, there's some stuff I want to get rid of, and he put it in the trailer.
There you go.
Including a Christmas tree that they didn't want any longer. We're just like filling it up with like, what's in here? Who cares? And they put it in there. So I don't know, Tracy, if you're listening, that's why you got a bunch of crap you don't know what you don't remember packing.
That's the back pay for living rent free during like the teenage years and stuff like that. You get to take some of the junk and you get rid of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then Cynthia says, when I was 8, Santa brought me a reel-to-reel tape recorder about the size of a shoebox. This started my interest in AV production. Amen.
Hell yeah.
And that's the thing is that I could look at all sorts of 21st century gadgetry that is really cool. I mean, none of it in this building because it's not in this building, but I know it exists. I've seen WCCO, and but the thing is if you have me see a reel-to-reel tape machine, I will always stop and look at it and try to see what kind it is. I just love them.
That's the first way I learned how to edit a commercial.
Oh yeah, where you put the tape and you have the little guide.
Yep.
And then you have where the razor would go through, so that you can cut it and then rejoin it, and it's cut at a slant.
Yep.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Back in the Stone Ages of 1995, my first radio gig in Shelbyville, Indiana.
There is something really pretty awesome about all that.
It was, and we also used 8-track carts for some of our spots too.
Yep.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yep. And so every time it would the cart would be a system Which wasn't too dissimilar from television.
No.
Because that was a cart system of a different kind. It would either been like 3/4 inch tape, what was called M2 tape, or beta tape.
Mm-hmm.
But in the radio side of it is all lined up, and the sequence would go once you start the first one, then it would knock out the rest of them in order, in theory. And that's how that would work. And that's how you get your commercial breaks.
Yeah, we had this giant machine that stood about 5 feet tall,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd have to go in there and put it in each slot, at the top of every hour is when they told me to do it, working the weekends. It's like, don't put too many in there. We don't want it running over.
Yeah.
Okay. So, put in 4, go back, put in the next 4 or 5, whatever it might be.
And at home, you'd be watching these commercials play out, but then at the station, especially if it was like 3/4 inch tape, which were these clunky cassettes, you'd hear each machine pre-start, and because then it would back up the tape a little bit to the cue mark, and then start and go forward. So it'd be these big clunks, and then it would be running.
Now we hear something like that in here, it's either falling apart or the ghost is back.
or it's the DVR. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That was making a weird noise when I got in here.
I told you. I mean, it's kind of places running on fumes. I'm not, it's kind of how it goes. So, yeah, no, it's really, it's pretty cool. I still love all that stuff. All those old sort of broadcast production things, and I hate to say it, Adam, I collect some of that stuff.
You know what? I got something hanging around the house you might actually like. I've got a light level meter from the early 1900s.
Oh, wow.
You might actually like that.
Well, you got to wonder if there's some way we can, put it into a investigation or something.
Quite possibly.
There might be something to that. I don't know.
Could be. A friend of mine picked it up and they're like, you would like this. You're a nerd. I'm like, right on. Thanks.
You're a weirdo.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of my collection of stuff is like, I know you would like this. Oh, okay.
No one else would, but you'd like it. Yeah. No, totally. All right. Why don't we do this? Let's go ahead, take our second break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about Christmas movies as well, and on Christmas viewing habits and stuff like this as we wrap up 2023 on Ghostbox Radio. We'll be right back. You're listening to us on AM 950.
Hello, I'm Jody, also known as Witch Jody on social media. I opened Midwest Witchery and Healing in historic Stillwater because as a nurse, I love to help others. When you come and visit Midwest Witchery and Healing, you will find everything from divination and magical services, classes to ritual tools, jewelries, handcrafted candles, witchy gear, and much more. My store is a safe environment for all on their own unique path. Look for the purple door. Find out more at MidwestWitcheryHealing.com.
Now at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, the new Lopi hybrid wood stoves.
Lopi wood-burning stoves in sizes and designs to fit your heating need and style choice. They not only feature a big, beautiful fire viewing area, they heat so efficiently that they qualify for the 30% tax credit. With this federal tax credit, you can earn $2,000 when you install efficient wood heating.
Lopi advances the technology of wood burning. EPA certified for clean burning, these new hybrids include refined catalytic combustor design. They burn not only cleaner, but longer and more efficiently. Lopi brings heating with wood into the 21st century.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has been selling wood-burning products since 1977. We want to make fire work for you. Let us show you how Lopi wood-burning stoves can work in your home.
Get in touch with the folks at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. They are the chimney and insulation experts. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood, gas, and electric units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Cloudy tonight with a low of 39, then sunshine Saturday with a high of 50.
Get the appliances you've been dreaming of for less at Warner Stellian's year-end clearance. Shop closeouts, scratch and dent, and floor models. Plus, buy more to save more. Take 10% off 2 red tags and 15% off 3 at Warner Stellian's year-end clearance.
And welcome back to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. My name is Greg Bakken. As we are closing out the year 2023, you're like, well, Greg, it's only December 22nd, but we are going to be off all of next week. On Monday, we're going to be replaying the episode with Tim Rayborn. That's the episode with 50 Scariest Christmas Folklore. We had him on earlier in the month, and it just seemed kind of right to play that on Christmas. It's a great episode. Tim's a fantastic guest. Rest of the week, we're going to be doing some Best of Ghostbox Radio, with including some episodes we have not played before. So if you want to get kind of a crash course in some of the guests that we've had, definitely give it a listen. And we're just really excited to be kind of wrapping up here. One thing also I wanted to mention, you might have heard the promos for it. January 3rd, we do Ghost Stories and Beyond. So many things with the word ghost in it in my life. It just, I can't even keep up anymore, Adam. Ghost Stories and Beyond, we're doing that back at Billy's on January 3rd. That we're going to be bringing in through the internet, but totally interactive, is Joe Frankie. Joe Frankie had investigated with Ed and Lorraine Warren since 1986. So their way of investigating is very different from the way that we investigate. Not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just very different. There's a lot to talk about. Really a great opportunity to speak with somebody who has been a part of something very special. And Joe is a fantastic person, a great speaker. You're going to love him. So please come out to Billy's on January 3rd. Once again, burgers are half price as we wrap up 2023. My goodness, I can't believe it's been such a weird year, but being able to do this show nightly has been absolutely basically a dream come true, Adam. I mean, I just love what has been accomplished since we started doing this in July.
Yeah, July 10th was a heck of a day. That Monday was the very first weeknight.
Yeah,
Ghostbox, and I will always remember that Sunday, that last Sunday show.
Yeah,
that we did right before that. We were talking about the, it was just actually brought up the other night, this past Wednesday. No, not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before with the UFOs.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the Nevada one.
Yeah.
That had just happened.
That's right.
Like July 7th or July 6th, and we were talking about it on the 9th, the day before you went to the 5-day.
Yeah, that's right.
And, it was one of those where it was just more of a, all right, here's the year in review thus far. And shortly after that, it got crazier.
It got, and that congressional hearing came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was
like 2 weeks
later.
Yep. Just absolutely incredible. And hearing the different opinions on that hearing, between like Erica Lukes and Anthony F. Sanchez that we just had on last week.
Yes.
Very different opinions. Both I think are valid, but it's truly I think it's interesting to see where we go with this disclosure with aliens, because it's only going to become, whether accurate, whether truthful, that in my mind, that remains to be seen, but we're going to get more.
We are definitely going to get more. And I think right now we are kind of on that line between accuracy and what's been kind of overblown to sell a couple of books.
Yeah.
But I think there is a lot of useful and truthful information out of everything that Gorshed said.
Yeah, I think so too. So as we're wrapping up the year here, as we're talking like Christmas movies and stuff, what do you think? What do you like to watch when it comes to a Christmas movie?
There are a couple that I really, really enjoy. Number one, Christmas Story. I think that's a great one. Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
Those are two of my favorites, but there's two renditions of the Christmas Carol that I like.
Okay.
There's the old black and white one with Albert Finney that I absolutely love.
Not Alistair Sim?
Right.
Yeah.
Or no, is it Alistair Sim?
Yeah.
Okay. That one, and then Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
And you kind of got to throw Scrooged in there.
You do. Absolutely.
So I think that's kind of like my list of go-to Christmas flicks.
I do like those. I've also what I'm going to hopefully watch this weekend, one of those you don't think of as a Christmas flick is if you're a James Bond fan, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. It takes place over Christmas.
So that makes it a Christmas movie?
Hey,
is that the one with Christmas Jones?
Nope, that's World Is Not Enough.
Okay.
No, it's George Lazenby.
Right on.
And it's all about sending. There's a Christmas tie-in, and there even has a Christmas song in there.
Okay, yeah, but I'm not one of those who says Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Well, I think these things are whatever we want them to be at the same time.
True.
I think I would never say to anybody that is not the case, but it's certainly I don't even know if I've ever seen Die Hard all the way through, to be very honest.
Alan Rickman's the best part of it.
Yeah, well, and I keep seeing the bit where he falls off the building. So, what more do I need to see?
Well, his facial reaction's great on that. That's why.
Well, and that's because they fooled him.
Yeah, they didn't tell him when it was going to go. They just cut it. He's like, ah.
Let's see. So you got that. I also am a big fan. I'm a big animation fan. Mm-hmm. So I love like the original Futurama Christmas where Santa is a robot and he's bad.
Oh my God, John Goodman. Yes. Yep. Yes.
That I love that. I also love I'm a big American Dad fan. Mm-hmm. So there's the one where it's been kind of an ongoing thing, but it's been kind of a story of diminishing returns. Is Santa is also bad the whole time. Santa's bad. And his number one enemy are the Smiths, from the family from American Dad. And first few are fantastic. Then it kind of meanders into garbage. But then there was also the American Dad Christmas special where they act like Haley and Jeff literally accidentally adopts a child. Turns out to be the Antichrist. Oh God! And it only Stan realizes this, and it turns into try to stop this Antichrist on Christmas, and it's so funny. It's so good.
Okay, well, maybe I gotta peep that out. Yeah.
Oh
my God, that sounds hilarious.
They're good. They're really enjoyable. And then I think I mentioned to you, I've been on a Simpsons rewatch, and I've been enjoying those as well.
It's the very first episode that's a Christmas episode.
It is.
Isn't it?
You're absolutely right.
That's what I thought. Where they get Santa's little helper.
Simpsons roasting on an open fire, I think is the name of the episode.
That's right. And Santa's little helper, who would later get fan mail under Santos S helper,
mm-hmm.
or Santos L helper, and that's where Bart gets the credit card. But yeah, that is the very first episode where Homer's the mall Santa.
It is, and I really have a hard time actually watching those early ones because they're just so rude, crudely put together. Mm-hmm. That it's just hard for me to watch them. So yeah, I don't know. A quick shout out. I just got a text from Philip Anthony from Downright Upright Show saying happy holidays. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Cynthia in the comments, she says happy holidays. We'll catch up with you in 2024 on our next investigation. Love your shows. That's very kind. Thank you very much. I think that we cannot talk about the year in review without talking about that Disney show.
That was
to me that's a highlight, actually.
Honestly, that was the last one I made a meme for and threw out on X/Twitter or whatever because it's like, oh my goodness, we're going to talk about haunted Disney. This is going to be great. Some cool spooky things that happened in the Magic Kingdom. Not at all. It was so bad.
It was really pretty ridiculous, and it was the only time in our history that we cut a guest short.
Yeah, it really was. It was just like, and at one point I remember you even being like throwing up your hands like, all right, I'm going to try and get a question in. That went well.
If here's a bit of advice for anyone who wants to be a guest, not on my show but any show. Allow the host to ask you questions. Now, that's all. That's the secret formula. Just allow them to ask you a couple questions, and you're good. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, just don't read verbatim from your book.
And
that'd be great.
And when you're answering a question, breathe. Take a moment and just. That's all you need to do. That's it. That's all. Not. I just remember you, and I'm not going to even say the guy's name because I mean you could find it if you scroll back because I think I still posted it. But you're just like you're yelling his name so that he could just stop for 1 second and allow us to do a station identification or whatever it was. I mean, just breathe.
And we went over it with him before.
Oh yeah. And I went over it with him the 2 weeks previous that he kept messaging me every day about the show. And when you're doing it once a week at that point, that's okay. When you're doing it nightly, it's like, listen, I love you. I love doing the show, but it's a bit churn and burn. I've had one guest who's just like, well, let's talk about marketing strategy for his show that was like a month and a half away. And I'm like, well, right now the shows I'm working on are the ones that are on tonight and tomorrow. That's the one I'm kind of working at. We could work on marketing strategy when, the day before, because that's about the best I can give you, you know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell me who that one is.
I will.
Or is it the same guy?
Nope. It's someone different. Yeah.
Right
yeah.
on.
And I trust me, I get it. And I get it that, being on any kind of program, you want your moment to be as good as possible. And you should ask for that. You should want that. But you got to understand too, that you're not the only guest. We're shuffling through a lot of content and we want to make sure everyone sounds good and looks good.
But everybody's special.
Everybody's special these days. Everyone wins. So
where's my trophy?
Yep, exactly. And so it was like, I don't know. I'm just like, yeah, that's.
But man, oh man, did we have some great guests though, and just some unbelievable stories and books. If you folks love reading the books, go to the Ghostbox website.
Yeah, go to Ghostbox Book Club on ghostboxradio.com. If you all the books that we've had on there are featured on there with an Amazon link. Go to that Amazon link through us, please, and we get a little bit of money back. Trust me, not a lot, but we get something back, which is nice.
It's better than the Spotify royalties. So I tell you what, go to the Ghostbox website.
It's better than the station paying. No, I'm just kidding. But
you get paid
in compliments.
Ooh, that's perfect.
Get paid in compliments. It's all good. It's all nice. Yeah.
We love you, Chad. We're just playing.
Yeah. So, yeah, what I've really enjoyed was the conversations this year. We're going in areas that we have never done before. Even like we're talking just like with Angela on Wednesday, when we're talking about tracking down a past life. And she sent me a note today. When can I come back on?
Oh,
so
perfect.
We're going to get her on ASAP, probably within like the first week we're back from break. Because her story is important.
It is.
Everyone's story is important, and that's what to a lot of people, they would look at what we put on our shows as if like, well, we're a little skeptical about what you're saying, but go ahead and say it. Where we look at it as like your story needs to be told. We are the format. We are the conveyor of those stories for you. We're your champions.
We are your platform. So please reach out, emails. We'll see it. Throw it on Facebook. We'll see it. And if we can try to get you on, we will.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm just always looking for good stories. I mean, I have paranormal teams that come out to me and they're like, can we be on your show? And it's like, do you have something that's different? I mean, I love paranormal teams, but if it's just people coming out saying, yeah, we do private residence and we go and we go to all the events, we met all these people. It's like, that's great, but we really want some very unique stories and great experiences here so that people can learn. The average listener who doesn't do this can understand why we do things a certain way here. So that's where I come in.
And the average listener can definitely learn a thing or two about doing a paranormal investigation just by listening to it, because this past fall at the Grant House was my first paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
And between Greg and Shar and everybody involved, It was fantastic. So they'll be doing those again in 2024. They also have classes. Hit up Charvinity.com.
Yep.
Hit up Ghostboxradio.com for all details about classes, about future investigations as well.
It's going to be a great 2024. We're looking forward to blowing up this show next year. Honestly, it's going to be pretty amazing. So just keep your eye on it for us. And, as we wrap up this year, we're going to be back again Monday with a replay of Tim Rayborn, 50 Scariest Christmas Folklore Stories. And the rest of the week are going to be Best of Ghostbox Radio. And there's going to be some great programs on there. Now, please make sure to visit ghostboxradio.com to find past episodes of our radio shows and like us over on Facebook at Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken. Also send any comments or feedback to comment@ghostboxradio.com. If you want to join our mailing list, you can also send an email to comment@ghostboxradio.com to receive our weekly newsletter. Now, I just wanted to thank you all for listening to our show, interacting, and just generally supporting what we do. If I were to be told at the beginning of the year that I'd be doing this show nightly, I would have never thought it was possible. Thank you to everyone who has been there with me every step of the way and who believed in the show. Here's to a strong 2024, and we'll be back here live January 2nd, 2024. Adam, Merry Christmas to you.
And to you as well.
And Merry Christmas to everyone, and a Happy New Year. Everyone take care. We'll see you in 2024.
Your radio station for the resistance, the David Pakman Show.